Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So let us continue our session. So we have been discussing about the social emotional learning, and in that we have been discussing about the role of culture and how to build a school culture. So basically, this culture is very subconscious and unconscious, or it is not seen like when people are having lunch at school. So during the process, we can see how much the culture is implemented or how much the culture is in practice. The way we talk in the campus, the way we think about each other, the way we help each other, all these things, the way we talk and how we support each other, is all, culture will define all this. So just by, you kind of lecture, you cannot build a culture. So culture, usually the cultures, take hundreds of years. If you see the culture of the societies, you see thousands of years people have taken to have their unique culture. So culture is very, very important for any society, any home, or any family, or any school, right? So we have to build a positive culture at our school. So how do we build positive culture? So the culture is defined with the vision and mission of the school. Why the school is established? What is the vision of the school? What is the mission of the school? So these things are very, very important, and these matters. These things matter a lot. So by keeping all this in mind, the school management should be very much clear about what is the ethical responsibility and what is the moral responsibility as a school. So let's say this is the so and so objective of the school, to make sure that we get a the contributors to the world, a good citizen for the country, a good children. No? So how do we bring all this in our children? So that's where we have to create a, as I said, first of all we have to define ourselves, and now we have to create a learning environment, conducive environment, stress free, where the people are working together harmoniously, and they are working cooperatively. So this is the culture we need to bring. This is a situation we need to create to get a positive culture, like joyful learning, harmonious work together. Children are not afraid. Suppose as an example, the child has not completed your homework. The rapport between the child and the teacher should be in such a way that the child should be confident enough, the child should be bold enough to come and express that for so and so reason he couldn't complete. So next day he is going to complete. So how well he is able to communicate. So if you create this kind of environments, there will be no chance of falsehood. Why there will be false? They will be always truthful. So most of the times what happens, we keep our system so strict, things so strict, people are afraid of the consequences. See, people are not afraid of the consequences. They'll not be false. They'll not be untruthful. They'll all be truthful. So this is they're very like afraid of what will happen, all this. So for that, a good culture has to be developed. And another aspect is about appreciating the diversity. The school culture should be built in such a way that children are respecting each other and they are appreciating the diversity. Diversity can be people from multiple techniques, multiple capabilities, multiple caste and creeds, multiple states, multiple languages, multiple thought processes. So people are, diverse. So appreciating the diversity, not in school, just in school. Lifelong, we should build children in such a way that they appreciate diversity. It doesn't mean that when you appreciate diversity, you leave your culture, you just give off your thought process. Whatever culture we have, whatever language we have, whatever traditions we have, that 100% we have to hold back. With that, we have to have the concept of diversity. So, how do we build this environment? So, suddenly you cannot give a lecture and tell them to do all that. Slowly, we need to build a positive school culture. So, appreciating diversity is not just for school. This is the characteristic we need to build on our students, where they will be able to appreciate diversity lifelong. And next is about the role models. Who will be the role model? The teachers, the parents, the management, principal, administrator, all these people should be a role model for the student. So the role model for these skills are the school leaders and the teachers and other stakeholders. They become the role model. How, when uh, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to say, Aisha Razila used to say, Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is walking Quran. Whatever is there in the Quran, it is in his life. He is like a walking Quran. Everything is implemented. And also, Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam spoke about Sahaba. Like you, except you follow anyone out of them, you'll reach your destination. That's the confident a leader has on their model. So that's how the school leader has to develop a role model at our school. How it will develop? See, you might be a very, very talented person and very, very well versed in your knowledge and very wisdomful and all these things you have. See, when will the people appreciate? They should connect to the heart. In Hindi, they say, Dil se dil lagana. They should get connected through heart. So they start internally respecting. So respect will not come just by asking them to respect us as an elder. That comes internally. The respect, the care, the concern. So as a very good school, which cares for the children, so we need to make sure that the caring is a culture. Everybody is caring each other. Yeah, we should create that environment. So how do we do all that? Creating a equal environment or needed environment, because equal environment, equal opportunity is also important. Sometimes we might to have an extra facility for some students, whether it is financial or whether it is technical or whether it is related to coaching. Some children need some extra support. As I said, financial till anything. So every child has been treated equally, and the opportunities are given based on their needs and also the family circumstances of the children. And regarding, irrespective of any kind of family circumstance, you have to treat them equally, whether he's coming from a very rich background or a children of the doctor or engineer. So this is called partial, non-partial, partiality. We say no. So that's very, very important. Sometimes what happens, the person is a very big doctor's son or very scientist son or very rich person's son. Automatically, it's human nature. We try to. I'm not telling everybody. Usually, human nature, we try to bend down. Bend down is not as in bending. We just have soft corner for the rich, for the skillful, or the famous personalities. This is human tendency. Otherwise, you'll not have any. If there is no tendency like this, then there'll not be fans for the heroes or for any players or anybody. You just bow down in front of these things. Sometimes what happens, we might have the partiality in our classrooms. We have to analyze ourselves. Is there any partiality? If you feel somewhere it is there, we need to avoid that and make sure that we don't no, follow this partial approach with our students. And comes the next thing in culture, the discrimination part. We have to follow non-discrimination aspects in our school. Everybody is again given equal opportunity at school. No discrimination, whether they belong to different genders or different caste, creed, class, yeah, different economical background. There might be anything. So no non-discrimination is one of the important school culture. Non-discrimination policy. And similarly, there is corporal punishment. There will be no corporal punishment at school. So corporal punishment also the abuses. You cannot be either your hand or either your stick. You're doing abuse, or corporal punishment is not only about beating, it's just giving any kind of punishment. It's not so healthy. Uh, See, earlier also there's so much punishment. Just analyze. Earlier, if you all remember, common, and it would be very critical punishment. You have to make rounds of the playground or clean the playground or just become a hen, murga, we say in our Hindi language. Or there's many kinds of punishments, and we did not hear anything happening like children are dying because of punishment and all. I mean, not even anywhere because they are all children active and they're like circus fellows. In circus, no, there is circus, no. What they do many acts in circus. So that's how children are active and very naughty, and they just enjoy. If they give punishment also, it's hard for them if they are giving punishment. But again, they used to sustain the punishment. See, I'm not encouraging to give punishment. I mean, there are no deaths of children during the punishment and all. No, there are many incidences you all might have heard, seen in news. Children have died because of the punishment. They were in punishment, they have collapsed. What I have seen is emotionally, children are not like earlier. Emotionally, like whatever teacher says, silently listening to them, respecting. That culture is not there, and nutrition is not so strong. Earlier, there used to be very strong nutrition, and so I mean, it's like very different environment altogether. See, in Karnataka, there used to be ragi, ragi malt, ragi, that is a hit. We call it as a hit here in Karnataka. So our culture is like the core Karnataka culture. We don't have. I mean, there are people. I'm not telling this is the common culture, but that's very traditional culture. Having rice is very rare. Even rice also. I mean, daily one time they might have rice, but in the morning they might have rice. Roti is not so much in culture here. Core Karnataka, I'm telling you, not coastal, North Karnataka, Bangalore and Mysore, this core region, Mandya, we have Mahasan. That hit, we say, that made with ragi. It's very, very healthy, very, very healthy, so natural. So this is very, very, very common. That used to be our major food. That is the regular food. The gravy used to be different every day. So now slowly, from past 15, 20 years, it's come down. So it was very healthy food and children used to have it. Some people used to give malt, like liquid of that. It's very, very healthy. Now, that tradition is not there. Now, simple roti, simple, some rice they are having. and not that much quantity. So what I've seen is the nutrition has come down, like consuming fruits and all. So if you go to somewhere, roadside food earlier, there used to be fruits outside your schools. You might have observed, all these small oranges and there's corn. All this almost, if you look at the previous journey of your schools and all, these are natural things. Cucumber used to be there near schools. People used to just be afraid of they are not hygiene. If you all remember, the only concern was, if I remember very clearly, the only concern was hygiene. Just used to say this, it is not hygiene. There's no healthy, unhealthy, because everything was like. Then one ice cream bandi used to come, just one ice cream and some that sugar chocolate that we call buddhi kebal in Karnataka. That sugar thing. Otherwise, everything was so natural. What I mean to say is, things have drastically changed now. So, I mean, there are many reasons why corporal punishment is banned, because there are real cases we have seen because of corporal punishment. Children have died. There are many cases. So I was telling you, see, I'm not telling from research. I'm telling my observation. The nutrition is not so healthy that they can withstand all the punishments. Emotional punishment also they cannot withstand. Physical punishment also they cannot withstand. So that's so this corporal punishment is very strictly been told in India also. Because we used to say about foreign before 20 years, we used to say foreign mein बच्चों को नहीं मारना. Foreign is like this, that they don't use stick, they are very like, they don't use singular language, they are very decent. All these things. But now, if you are very tough with your children, it comes under verbal abuse. There is physical abuse. One is physical abuse. You use your hand to harm his body. Then it comes under physical abuse. Verbal abuse is also not accepted. It might be counted as harassment. See, I'm not making you afraid. So what I mean is, things have changed a lot. So verbal abuse is when you impact a child mentally through your words, or you harm him mentally through your words, verbal. So verbal abuse. So physical abuse, verbal abuse. So we have to be very careful. See, this is one of the point coming under school culture. So school culture should be built in such a way that there is no corporal punishment in the campus. That's the point. So I just wanted to give you some background, how, where, what. But if you look at the sunnah practice, what is the sunnah? So there's a Sahabi who says, I was in the khidmat of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for 10 years. He did not scold me or abuse me. So sunnah we have practice also. But tambi ke liye lakdi rakna. Tambi ke liye is just to make sure that, say, I cannot have the complete same meaning for this word. Just to make sure that they are balanced and they are taken care of. Just like supervise them. Yeah. So just to make sure that they have some fear in the sense they are little respect and fear. Okay, fine. Just to have stick for namesake, not for beating. Tambi ke liye lakdi rakna. That you can find in Adis. And now comes the bias and non-bias. So we should be non-bias, including how much do you teach. Suppose an example, there's a section, all rich people families. Sometimes that happens. We are using a lot of teaching learning aids, and we are very soft with those children. And the other class, we are biased in our methods. Like we're not teaching so carefully. We're not using that much material. So it is not about your talk, your thought. It is about the way you do. So whatever the textbook we use, the learning aids we're using, whatever methods we use, your teacher should be non-biased in her methods. Should give her fullest. And next is the participation and decision making. the teacher should make sure that children participate in the classroom. There should be a lot of participation, and children should be encouraged to take decisions. That is the decision making skills. So the decision making skills come through the participation. Like there are some competitions in the school, they should participate, and things are discussed in the classroom. Children should ask questions, they should talk, they should participate in the discussion. There are some initiatives taken at school, they should participate. In class, there are some class assignments, group assignments, they should participate. So we should encourage the participation of children and also the decision making. And how should be the participation? The participation should be inclusive, avoiding again whatever we discussed, discrimination or no any other kind of harm and all. And now we have to have one extra hand for the marginalized. We should support these marginalized children, whether it is a boy or a girl. Marginalized in terms of no, they don't have much family support, they do not have much resource. They are marginalized children. How do we encourage them? How do we support them? How do we create more opportunities for these children? See, because of all these, marginalized children and the people who are not so well in terms of their background or as part of their community, they are not so developed. So you need to make sure that that community has a lot of representation. So all these discussions were there when this quota for SC, ST, OBC, all these quotas were getting ready after independence. So it took a lot of discussion. How do we support the marginalized? So that's how the story of this quotas and all have come, the reservation and all. Okay, that's another debate if you talk about. Many of them say that there should be no quota system. Everyone should study and serve well, and they should be able to develop academically based on their talents, not because of only their uh, scholarship or whatever options we are giving them. So that's a still big debate happening. Okay, so I'll not talk about that because that's also an interesting topic to talk about. Because there, we have to understand this is to increase the participation of that community, participation in society. Suppose an example, one society has very less doctors, very less bureaucrats, very less scientists. So the concern is how can we relax some things for this community so that they also can get to the mainstream, they also can participate. So the debate arises is what about the quality? If you take them even with a low mark, they'll not have good quality. Suppose somebody is coming in a general merit at 85% and same seat another person is coming in for 72%. So where is 85 and where is 72? Almost 13% less. So these are the kind of debates people raise. They say these are the effects of scholarship. What do you say that? Reservation. Like, you're not looking at the quality. Yes, it's very important to see how much relaxation you're giving is important. That can be a matter of debate. Not necessary that 45, 55, 60 should be the minimum marks for reservation for so and so community. So there are two kinds of. One is lessen the criteria. Like if general merit is like minimum is 85%, the reservation community can be 75%. That is one criteria. Another criteria is the reservation of the seats. It might be like, say, I'm not telling this is the policy we are following, just giving this. How can it be? So, suppose an example, people should get equal marks, but few seats will be reserved only for the people from that community. They have to fill, like 10% is reserved. So, out of 100, 10 people should come from that community. If all 10 do not come, only 8 comes, 2 are remaining. Again, the 2 seats will be, so most of the them they re-allot to general category. So anyways, let us not go to technical. What I mean to say is there's when so much sociological angle, people will consider only a political angle. Vote to a bank and all those we talk about might be, but the real thing how it started is the social cause as a sociological aspect. So it has made some change, a lot of change it has brought because few communities had a hold of things. Now it's been equally, I don't say equally distributed. No, it is distributed. People are represented. But again, that point is open for discussion. Like suppose an example, a person is doing MD, MBS is done, is doing MD, and same course, there are people very talented, 80%. But some people got the seat for 65% or say 60%. So we are compromising quality. It's a very, very big debate how to go about. If there is a compromise in the quality, what steps should be taken? How is it harming or it is fine? That's another very big debate. And another thing is about the climate of the school, which encourages the students and adults to question uncertain behaviors and practices. See, if children see how this abuses happen, no, physical abuse or verbal abuse happens or harassments happen. So there is something called good touch, bad touch. We all know, no, there's a common thing they have developed. Children should know what is good touch, what is bad touch. That they have started from like from past 10 years. I'm seeing that from 8, 10 years. I don't know when they started that. So in some schools, they teach children to understand if they are in the situation of abuse, how will they know? So good touch, bad touch is being made. The international list is made. So if somebody is touching you, there that. So this is good. This is bad. So this concept is there. I mean, that's also a important thing, right? But in Islam, what we do, have parda. That's it. The precaution is have parda. So in our institutions, we have made sure that the girls' buildings are separate, boys' buildings are separate. See, Alhamdulillah, we have got three to 3,500 children, and 12 blocks we have got. One school, 3 blocks, one school, 2 blocks. So there are schools which is 1 kilometer apart. There are schools which is 200 meters apart. So Alhamdulillah, Dr. Mushtaq Sahab, our Bani, our of institutions, he has tried, and we have been able to do it. 100% women faculty we have in our college. We have BBA, we have BCA, we have BA, BCom, BSc. 4 to 5 courses we have got in degree also. 100% women managed college, and we have got state rank also one semester. So only fully women managed schools, colleges. So that is our culture. We have tried to imbibe it from past one. This is our 21st year of the institution. We have tried. Alhamdulillah, today also we have been able to manage. In boys' school, we have got women teaching. A lot of women we have. We don't have so many men teaching in Bangalore. So in men we have. So there also there should be in whatever things we have as ethics we are following. What I mean is, how do you protect children? So Islam says, "Kharib bhi na jao." Others say, "Don't do wrong." Don't do wrong is very far off thing. Initial thing Islam says, "Kharib bhi na jao." The things which might start the harm or start the guna, from there itself Islam stops. "Kharib bhi na jao." So what I mean is, you just have to have intention. You know? So somebody was asking me how Dr. Mushtaq Sahab is able to manage like whatever he was been committing, how he has managed all this. So Allah has opened the path, right? The many branches which has like completely even from LKG we don't have quite. So again, it's a see I'm not encouraging people. It's again open for debate from where when we will start co-ed and all those things. See, I would say this is our culture. If I say this is my culture, how can you question me? Let us say somebody is talking about what Islam is teaching and all. Okay, we are following Islam, and also I say, so it's my right. How in Western country, this, you know, It's my right, it's my choice. I'll say, this is my right, this is my choice. Like how you follow Western philosophy telling that it's your choice. Similarly, this is my choice. So let us not deviate. So what I mean is the uncertain behaviors and practices need to be curtailed. So what I said, if you are so much afraid about this parda and so much bad things happening in the society, so I just gave you a hint. Islam has a different approach. Instead of teaching good touch, bad touch, you create an environment in such a way that there is no situation arising for all this. You're getting it. So still, see, uh, even the Christian missionaries used to have boys' schools, girls' schools. You see hundreds of years of history of Christian institutions. In Bangalore, I can give you hundreds of examples, boys and girls. Now they've started co-ed in some of the new schools, and some of the old schools they made co-ed. For hundreds of years, they also had this Christian missionaries, boys' schools and girls' schools, many, many schools. Even today, the names itself is girls' school, boys' school, still we have in Bangalore. So that's the traditional culture. They used to just protect children. So now what they have done, all this good touch, bad touch, all this they are teaching. But you just go to the census and just see internationally how many abuses, some lakhs of children are getting abused every year. Who? By their close people, not some stranger. See, I'm telling you as a counselor all this because we have studied all this. This is my part. This is a part of our studies when we do study counseling. So what I mean is, it's not 5-10%. It's a huge percent of abuse. Even today, I am not able to digest how it is happening. If you see the percentage of abuse, you don't even accept. No, this many percentage of abuse is not happening in the world. So in very unknown ways, these abuses are happening. It's very very painful to accept this. Most of the abuses are happening from the relatives. See, many women also there here. I'll not continue this context. If you want, you can study the reports and study things. Things are not so easy. It's very shocking. The abuses are very less from strangers. The more abuses are from the close relatives and the people who are connected with the children. They say not just relatives, close relatives are many in these abuses. What form abuses happen? Very important for us to understand. You can, I will not tell all the reports. You can just go to internet and just see how it happens and all, how it's happening, how people have tried to study this and curtail this. So, anyways, just make sure that our children are safe in the campus. So I elaborated all this because there's one point called um, let them question. There is confusing or uncertain behaviors or there's uncertain practices. What is uncertain? Something is unusual. Yeah, something is happening to a child. It is unusual. That's very not acceptable behavior might be. So I just wanted to elaborate those points. Uncertain behavior is not something just somebody is not talking well, somebody is abusing very tough way, he's talking, he's using bad words. There is not only uncertain behavior. Just understand in depth of that. Uncertain behaviors and practices, unusual behaviors. So that's how all these things we need to be taking care in the campus, and we have to protect our children. So still there are few things we'll try to talk about this ethnic and religious unity, and there's something called uh, core value. How do you have this core value as a guide to the children? Nobody is watching how children is good. How children are good in any given situation. So a few things are discussed. We'll continue in the next section. Jazakallah. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikum salam. One live can be Allah. I mean, it's one of the privilege they must